Alright, guys, the final battle. Most anticipated thing in this whole game for me because it was so memorable to me the first couple of times I saw it.
Last warning, Isaac. I mean it. Isaac.
Here it comes! Ugh. I'm getting whacked around by this thing a lot, jeez. Oxygen tank? Why would I need oxygen? Jeez. I don't think I can throw those back, can I? I'm pinned down. Has me right where it wants me. Oh, hello! Round 2. Booyah! Just like old times. With the exception of that. Okay, I see how that works now. Move faster, you witless dullard! Okay, last one. Not a moment too soon. Move, Isaac, move! Ugh. Were those final GUI effects really that necessary? Trophy earned mindless prey. Kill the hive mind. Ugh. No sign of it. Interesting. Leave the planet. Don't need to tell me twice. Exodus trophy earned. Chapter 12, Dead Space completed. Set a benchmark, trophy earned. Oh, Isaac. Poor guy. He's been through so much. But unfortunately his troubles are just beginning.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry.
Goodbye, Nicole. Knew that was coming by a long shot. Really scared the living heck out of me with that. First time I saw it. Well, it wasn't too bad. I mean, of course, the original had more scare value, but the way they did it, it wasn't all that bad. Yeah, I mean, and not to mention the new Hive Mind fight. The way they redid it was pretty good, like saving that whole grab thing for the end. Like, maybe if they saved it for the last, like, chest bulb, that would have been probably a little better, but it wasn't bad, like, especially with its new acid spit. Also making use of all the abilities it had in the original, because, like, you could skip over some if you, like, blasted its chest piece. Like, if you didn't blast it in time, it would, like, shoot explosive balls at you and summon pregnants. Yeah, guys, that was Dead Space Remake. That was one heck of an experience. So glad I got to relive it. So glad it was a huge success. I'm hoping now I'm really more than hyped for a remake of the second one, because, like, that was one of the best horror experiences I ever had in a video game. Let's see, what else? Yeah, they really expanded on a lot we didn't see in the original game. Apparently I missed out on a missing text log at the beginning that was on board the Kelly, and that gave some backstory to the crew, like Isaac and his mom and his parents and all that, and Kendra, and unfortunately I missed it. Yeah, like, the expanded sections with the other crew, like Chen and Johnston, like when the marker would mess with us, and seeing more interactions between Mercer and Nicole and Kyne and the captain and the rest of the crew, getting Dead Space Extraction and Dead Space 2 Easter eggs. Those were really awesome. So there were some things I liked better in the original. Like, I wish they made a little bit more use of the Hive Mind's sound design from the first game. Like right when the fight starts off, it just screams in your face. I kind of wish it did that still. I kind of wish it still had that iconic scream that it was being used before the fight. But its sound design wasn't too bad. It was still pretty terrifying, especially with, like, the sounds it was making when it first came up, with, like, those low droning groans it made. That was really terrifying, and I think some of the animation might have been just a little bit off in that opening scene. And Isaac's final war cry against it before the fight started, that was awesome. I also wish they, added the original build-up and effects with, like, when you return the marker, like, after Nicole disappears and there's just that music and then the marker activates, and the effects were a lot better too. And we also got a small glimpse of the Hive Mind then. I wish we did there as well. Lots of good changes, lots of D. Bradley Baker and Kellen Goff. Well, I guess, and Fred Tatassi, right? I guess they were all part of the Necromorph sounds. Who would have thought? I guess it makes sense with D. Bradley Baker, and I guess Kellen Goff to some extent, and maybe also, I guess Kellen Goff did the Exploders because they did kind of sound like him, or it could have also been D. Bradley Baker. I mean, the guy's a master in monster voices and stuff like that. I mean, the guy was practically carrying all the aliens in Ben 10 Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. He also did some roles in, like, Teen Titans and all that. Yeah, they also expanded on, Jacob Temple and Elizabeth Cross a little bit more. We got to see her alive, and you got to interact with her, and got to meet them to some extent. And yeah, the way they, an interesting, they had some interesting twists that actually worked well, like with Isaac hallucinating Nicole, but it was actually Cross, and it was just using them as its puppets the whole time. And yeah, the dialogue had some also had some interesting twists and turns as well. A lot better in some areas, more or less the same good effect. Didn't need much improvement in some other areas. They did a good job. I really wish they, and of course, yeah, there was another change I didn't like. It was like, I mean, I kind of liked him in Sacrifice in the original game better than the one he did here. Like when he's hallucinating and he sees Chen and he sees that necromorph that was Chen as Chen still, and it kills him, and then he just finishes it off by pushing it into the Singularity Core, causing the Kellyan to fall apart. I really liked how they redid the slug boss fight. Instead of being just a basic arcade shooter, like you got to actually go out there and fight it. I think that was probably the best fight in the whole game. Well deserved. Became a lot better with the new design, probably better than all the others. I mean, it was interesting how they made the Leviathan work with the free float Zero-G. Like, it still worked, but I kind of like how it worked better. Initially, you could jump from surface to surface to avoid the tentacles, and it was still pretty good. And you, especially since when you saw the tentacles activate, you could, just rotate and move out of the way. It still worked, but still, like, jumping across from surface to surface a little better. And then it just got really hectic towards the end, having to deal with the tentacles and the bombs at the same time. Kind of the same deal with the Slug, aka the Leviathan Remnant in this game at the end, but it still worked. Still a lot better. The Hunter was still pretty good, but like they were throwing all sorts of different necromorphs than just the Twitchers at the end. It just kind of piled on too much towards the end. In the first level, when you froze it still worked, but like when you started throwing in other necromorphs like lurkers, regular slashers, along with the Twitchers, including the Hunter, it kind of got a bit more hectic than it needed to be. And it was also interesting seeing the Hunter's backstory, who he was, like how Mercer morphed him and created him into what he was. Yeah, I also liked Mercer's death in the original a little bit better when he just gives himself up to the Infector and becomes a necromorph. You have a little bit of a chance to deal with him yourself. You can kill the necromorph before it kills him and deny him what he wanted, or you can just deal with him yourself. Either way, it still worked. In regards to the enhanced necromorphs, like the black ones, it was kind of hard to tell towards the end until like you saw the glowing eyes and the darker skin. But yeah, I wasn't even sure they were in this game till I finally saw the differences towards the end. Yeah. But I'm glad they were still there. They're not called enhanced necromorphs, they're called phantom necromorphs now in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there were a lot of interesting changes. Like, we also got interesting backstory between, like I said, between Isaac and his parents, and his relationship with Nicole, and how they played into his relationship with Nicole, especially with that video chat I saw at the beginning between them. I'm guessing from what they were getting at, that was real, and that kind of led to like how that whole, like what Nicole was talking about in her opening video message, like her final video message that you see in the opening, like the first part of it, and then you see the whole thing towards the end. And it's good to see they didn't cut anything in this game. Like, they expanded on a lot, like rearranged a lot, but it still worked. I still wish that, like, another thing I liked better in the original was the divider placement. Like, when you're coming off the elevator after you're defeating the slug, you're just like minding your own business, and you hear one of its on the elevator, and you're just like, oh dear. I kind of wish that was like the first encounter with them, because that would have been a lot better build up, but it still worked with the first initial hall encounter, and I'm glad they kept that and the double divider in chapter 10. Everything else was the placement of the others was alright, I guess, like on the the Valor and its relocation in chapter 12, but I kind of liked it still, I kind of like the second and final encounter necromorphs better where they were initially, like the one where you meet when you get off the elevator and when you go back to the landing pad in Chapter 12. It just seemed to work better. And of course, there are, like, the other basic complaints about, Isaac and Nicole's new faces. But it can be overlooked by the rest of the awesomeness and quality this game has to offer. And I think there might have been a few bugs here and there, but hopefully these recent patches I've been seeing happening each time I've been booting up the game these past couple of times ironed them out. And, yeah. The weapon changes were really good. It felt really good to use all the different weapons now, like changing up the contact beam and the force gun, like the effects they had, like the damage effect you could do to the necromorphs, like the peeling system where you just remove bits and pieces of their skin wherever you hit them, and you can see like the whole effect depending on which weapon you used. Sadly, the pulse rifle suffered in the end because it didn't seem as effective as it was initially. But then again, that could also be because I didn't upgrade it as much. Same with the Ripper. Kind of wish. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do a New Game Plus because, if I'm not mistaken, there's an alternative ending. I haven't seen it, but I've been, seeing videos, like video selections of it on YouTube, like how to get the all 12 marker fragments and get the alternate ending or something like that. I'm gonna try and gun for that because I'm not done with this game. I don't want to stop playing this game because it is awesome. It's probably my favorite survival horror game of all time. It's like the first one I ever played, and it was just so effective to me. And like, I spent like a whole 2 or so months like watching stuff from the original games up until the point I got the original trilogy. Yeah, I didn't get them right away due to personal reasons at the time, but yeah, I'm glad I got to finally sit down and play them. And I beat each one within a week, including this one, because like tomorrow I will have officially had this one for a week. I would have finished the series up sooner, but I've had some issues, like in my area, like power outages, like from a winter storm. Yeah, I lost power today and yesterday. Came back a bit sooner yesterday, and I had it all throughout the day yesterday, but today I was like 10 hours without power, and I was like getting tired of sitting around in the dark, so I went somewhere for a bit. Yeah, fortunately the roads weren't too bad, and I hope everyone had safe travels as well where I was at, since roads are, thawed out. But, probably wouldn't want to get on them right away. Well, just, things are just easing up now, but still. Yeah, really had a real blast with this game. Probably one of my favorite games of all time. So glad I finally got to do a series on it. I've been wanting to do a series on it ever since I started YouTube. I was hoping like a remake or something, like a remaster or something like that would come sooner, but hey, it was well worth the wait in the end. For the most part. I think my personal favorite gun in the game would be the line gun. It felt a lot more effective chopping off limbs with it. It's like this game's version of a shotgun in a sense, for what its purpose is, to chop off the limbs of the necromorphs. But the others were pretty good too, like the contact beam, the way it worked, turning it into a full-on laser, using it to completely dismantle bigger enemies like the brutes and the tentacles. Yeah, I really had a lot of fun with that. Didn't use it too much just because, it's a very effective weapon and stuff for it could be scarce, and I just wanted to make sure I used it when need be and when it was most effective, and I did. And yeah, what a journey it's been, guys. Really had a lot of fun with this game. Gonna continue having fun with this game. We got a ways off before our next big title, which I believe would be Resident Evil 4 Remake. But hey, we still got stuff we can do. Like, we got the new Monster Hunter title Update 4 coming out, which has Velkhana. Didn't do a reaction to it just because of what was going on at the time these past couple of days with the power outages and winter weather. Yeah, I'll be sure to get that done next week. Same with... I also need to finally upload the other videos I did for the other 2 title updates for Monster Hunter Sunbreak. Yeah, now that it's on all platforms, me and my friends might actually, get together and do more with it at some point. Just give us more to play together, because me and Cameron, we always, played Minecraft together. And hopefully what's coming out will give us a chance to try and do a couple more things together if and when we can. Same with my buddy Dennis. He's been wanting to try and hop on with us as well if possible. And yeah, I also need to fully upload the rest of my Sonic Frontier series. I said I finished in my recent clip for it. I finished it right before Dead Space, but yeah, I have yet to fully upload the rest of it. Hopefully, now that I'm done with this, I'll have the time and opportunity to do so. So, yeah, guys, that was Dead Space, the remake. The original experience revamped, revitalized for the current generation. Had one heck of a time. Hopefully they do a Dead Space 2 remake, and hopefully they finally continue the series from where it left off after Dead Space 3 or DLC. I never really considered its DLC canon just because of that cliffhanger. I just didn't want it to end on that kind of note. Just felt unfortunate that it did. But yeah, guys, we are officially done with the main portion of this game. Hopefully I didn't miss too much. I did all the main side quests I could find. I think there might have been a couple more things I might have missed, like certain schematics for ammo, or maybe a couple more Master Override crates or doors I might have overlooked. But hopefully all my progress for here will be saved and I can, you know, find them again and find more awesome stuff on New Game Plus with all my current progress. So yeah, guys. With that said out of the way, we're done with the main part of Dead Space. I'm gonna try and do more, especially for the alternate ending. But until then, I hope you all enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. Peace out. 50,000 credits awarded, 10 power nodes awarded, tech slots awarded, advanced soldier rig level 6 suit unlocked. Yes, looks good. New game, your progress has been saved, unlock New Game Plus. Okay, guys. Now we're officially done. Glad the credits kept going, allowing me to say all that when I needed to. Really great, really solid game. I also gave a copy of this game to my buddy Gavin because he also likes this game and he's been wanting to get back into this series as well. I also got one for my buddy Cameron because he said he also wanted to try it out last we met. So yeah, next time we meet, I'm gonna give him his. And yeah. Okay, now I'm officially done with that review, rant, and ramble, so I shall see you all in the next one. Peace.